Welcome to Tackle Today, where we break down the top 5 stories impacting the stock market today. This is Coach Matt. Don't forget to sign up for that free trial of Tackle Trading's Pro membership and join this week's Master Trader Live course for those pro members and kickstart your trading like the pros do. So let's dive into story number 1. As the market tries to hold in here today, little bit of an up and down day in the market, sold off, tried to recover, trying to hold that support level right around that 595 and 600 level. Very, very important support levels. Check out the Tackle Trading newsletter for a complete dive into the technical conversation. Regarding the story number 1 here, Apple has a very significant story in my estimation, as Apple is up a little bit close to 1%, threatening to continue its recent run and break out here of that 248 overhead. And when you are looking at the news here today, Apple over the weekend is dropping $500 billion with a B over the next 4 years into U.S. infrastructure projects. This is a massive, massive deal, as the biggest company in the world is bringing back some degree of infrastructure development into the United States itself, including a Houston AI server factory by 2026, 20,000 new hires, a $10 billion manufacturing fund. Tim Cook's move post-Trump's talks last week. This counters that 10% Chinese tariff with the big U.S. play. Big ups to Apple for the decision to bring back infrastructure investment to the United States. Now let's look at that technically as Apple tries to continue with that breakout of the overhead. Let's go on to story number 2 here today. And story number 2 is really about Palantir and understanding the bullish retracement that is occurring in Palantir, but not just that bullish retracement in Palantir. We'll talk about Hood later on today. These high-flying stocks that have done really, really well, they are in pullback mode, no doubt about that. Palantir's hot streak fading a little bit as it continues to pull back, down 11% here today. Is trying to recover off that gap and sell down. Now, on the news, what's really kind of driving this pullback scenarios is 2 things, really. Number 1, you have the CEO Karp. He has a stock plan sale that's going on right now. And number 2, and more importantly, is that defense budget cut talks that are dragging sentiment as well. Treat this as a bullish retracement. And when you're looking at that bullish retracement, this is one of those zones you do expect to see a little bit of buyers step in right around that 90 level. One other zone to keep an eye on if it does retrace a little bit further is right around the breakout channel around 84 to 85 currently on Palantir. Let's talk about story number 3 here today, and let's move over to SBUX as it's navigating its overhead resistance challenges as well. Right around that 115 level, you can see that 115 level really well on that weekly chart. And so after the very, very strong run that SBUX has had ever since it hit that 200-day moving average, now it's just kind of consolidating and dialing in. And the news here today is SBUX is trimming over 1,000 different corporate workers, not your local barista, but the corporate workers are going to be laying off right around 1,100 corporate workers there. And after 4 quarters of declining same-store U.S. sales in the U.S. and China offering cheaper rivals, no doubt about that. Let's see what can happen with the efficiency argument coming out of SBUX after that very, very good run. But once again, don't have an opinion at 113. It really starts at that 115 level and that overhead resistance. Let's talk about story number 4. And story number 4 is your friend and mine, Warren Buffett, as he does report earnings over the weekend. And Buffett did make the investors happy. What did they do? Well, operating profit jumped 71% to $14.5 billion. That was based on 302% insurance underwriting surge and T-bill gains. Cash hit a record whopping $334 billion. And despite that record cash reserve, they are looking at investments here as well. And so looks pretty good for old Warren Buffett as he talks about the quality of the investing environment and talks about looking at that breakout of that multiple time frame resistance level on Berkshire as well. That's a good breakout. Look for a pullback if you're looking for a potential entry. And let's move on to story number 5, which is Robinhood. as they continue to pull back here. And it's not just about Robinhood's pullback. Coinbase had very similar news last week to what we're going to talk about on Robinhood today. And the story is a really simple one, and it goes to the deregulation argument that President Trump has really kind of fostered out there on the crypto side of the equation, that they're looking to create a little bit more of an open environment. And one of the ways they are doing that is they are reducing some of those lawsuits coming out of the SEC on companies that are in the crypto space, such as Coinbase last week. Now you're seeing it with Robinhood this week as well. And so this is positive news, but in both scenarios, the market sold. That should tell you a little bit more about the market environment than the crypto environment specifically, as the stock market is still in that pullback type scenario, especially on some of these high flyers with some valuation concerns. So a little bit of a pullback, and unlike Palantir's pullback, you've given up a little bit of the more important support levels. This is a deeper pullback with the last support level that is really, really important, right around 47. So keep an eye on 47, and that's it for Tackle today, here today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like and share button as well, because that helps us out, no doubt about that. And if you're looking for an amazing trading community to call home, there is absolutely no better place than Tackle Trading, your one-stop shop for education and application. And we'll see you tomorrow in the Tackle today.